What if abundance was always waiting for me to show up? Why does money move like a silent river, smooth and certain, whenever I surrender my grip and trust the current of who I'm becoming? Why does every financial shift feel like choreography, timed to my energy, guided by my growth, responding not to my pressure, but to my presence? Why does it feel like abundance is less about trying harder and more about tuning finer, letting my frequency do the heavy lifting? Why does every moment of pause become a moment of power? Every stillness a signal, every breath a backstage cue before the next scene unfolds in my favor? Why does the money I once chased now orbit me naturally, like I'm the gravity it was always waiting to fall toward? Why do my beliefs about timing shape the flow of income, like each thought is a lens that either tightens or opens the tap? Why does money respond not to noise, but to knowing, not to hustle, but to harmony, not to panic, but to poise? Why do I now feel like the more I honor the pace of my becoming, the more financial rhythm I unlock, without pushing, without proving, without pretending? Why does trusting the unseen script reveal the wealth that was written for me all along, hidden in the pauses, woven into the patience, encoded in the stillness? Why does the moment I release control become the exact moment money decides to show up, fully, freely, faithfully? Why does the story of my abundance unfold in acts, not accidents, each one perfectly placed, perfectly timed, perfectly me? Why does my trust in divine timing shift the entire economy of my life? Like money respects the calm within me more than the chaos outside me? Why does the income I call in now mirror my self-worth, not my stress, my surrender, not my sacrifice? Why do the highest paying paths open when I stop calculating and start calibrating, tuning to clarity, confidence, and creative truth? Why is the wealth I desire not earned through force, but expressed through frequency? Why does trusting the timing of my becoming feel like syncing up with an invisible orchestra that has always known my cue? Why does patience become power, not passivity, grace, not gap, alignment, not avoidance? Why does the pause between projects hold as much potency as the launch itself? And why does the rest become part of the rhythm? Why does life seem to say, wait here, not to delay me, but to prepare the stage for a greater debut? Why do I now walk as if the scene is already set, the spotlight ready, the wealth waiting for me to simply show up in sync? Why does every dollar that arrives now feel like a note in a score I was born to compose? Fluid, resonant, repeating, remembered? Why does my financial flow speak in poetry, not pressure, in resonance, not reaction, in ease, not effort? Why do my bank statements now read like affirmations of who I've become, not measurements of what I've done? Why does my energy attract profit like a magnetic signature, signed with soul, aligned with timing, delivered with divine accuracy? Why does the more I trust the tempo of my truth, the more my income finds its own perfect melody? Why is trusting the timing of my becoming not just the secret to peace, but the source of prosperity? Why does money not rush me but meet me, precisely when I'm ready, precisely when I rise, precisely when I remember who I am? Why does each financial blessing feel less like a surprise and more like a scene I rehearsed in spirit long ago? Why is the cash not chasing me but following the rhythm of my becoming, faithful, flowing, and forever on time? Why now do I no longer wait for abundance, but recognize that it's always been waiting for me?